Okay, this is price action video, AD&T. We're going to start out. It's going to be a paper trade, so I'm just going to use this cursor to scroll through the minutes. The day opens up, and so I got a highlighted pink here, and that's the peak. So it's way too early to do any trading because the peak's volatile. We have to have at least a peak, a valley. There's only two of them there. We should have at least one more, but you could probably put in at this point an OCO order in. If it goes above this line, buy. If it goes below that line, buy. It's certainly an option to do it. You notice this valley here is pretty weak. There's no blue triangles, so you're better off just waiting a little bit. Scrolling through, and you can see now we got this is called a bear reject, a little bit of a bear reject. So we have peak, valley, and a peak, but we're gonna still kind of look at it. Notice here we have an OCO order in for if of this buy stop. If it goes above this line here, you enter. It goes below that line, enter. What happens? It goes above and we hit. Okay, and now we got a bunch of green bars heading up. Notice that this blue bar here, this is sort of a resistance line from a previous day. Let's see if it goes through there. At any rate, now that this is our enter point, we gotta pretty soon want to put in our this is where we enter along. So we want to think about putting in a stop loss. We call us in other words, if it falls back down the other way really quick, we have something that stops it. So basically, what we're going to start doing is moving. So this would be right here, your stop loss, this bar right there. I drew it in. You would really enter it in here because we entered here and it starts heading up. So right away we could put our stop loss in. Only it's called a buy stop. All you do is pretty much use buy stops and sell stops and then mark it. So let's keep on going. Okay, so basically it hits a peak up here. There's a whole bunch of arrows, and notice that there's a black top here. So we could take a small profit. That would be called a scalp. If we took a scalp, it would be 1402 to 1427. That's about 20 cents. Could be about a 1.5% gain. But we're going to keep on riding it up because it's the opening move. We have our buy stop in here, so if it drops down, we'll pretty much break even. The one thing we could do, since we got all these arrows here, we'll do that. We'll put in it's going up. We want to put in another sell stop, even with our enter right there. So if it keep on right about here, we put our sell stop in. So if it drops down, we'll break even. We won't lose any money. And what happens? It goes back up. So now we can raise our buy stop up even higher. This blue dashed line represents our trade, what we're doing. Okay, so now it reaches another peak here. So I've highlighted it in the pink circles, and now we can start drawing a trend line, an uptrend line. It comes back down, and so you see this point right here. That's sort of, I drew this pink in here. Let me draw it a little bit wider. Yeah, that's better. This you can see it kind of goes up and it comes down, a valley goes back up. So now what I've done is I've at this point down here, because that's the valley, now I can add another buy stop right there, or sell stop here. So the price stops down below lowest line, it hits that. This level right here is based on that little valley there, and so we start. Okay, so I have to kind of resize this a little bit. Much better. Okay. All right, so we got our top line diagonal, resistance diagonal, and our bottom support diagonal now. We can draw the lines going from here to here. And you notice they're kind of converging. This is going up here and that's going up there, and the two lines are kind of getting, the end of that line are getting closer together. So here's our little peak here, our little upward line there, and we're moving our sell stop up as we go. So you notice here there's a valley and here's a valley, and anyways. So we're going along. I think we're set up okay. If the price suddenly bottoms out, we've got here, and that's where our sell stop is at 14.17, and our enter was down here at 14.01. So we would have made 16 cents, which would have been about 1% gain. So we're already moving the money. We're just moving our sell stop up. We don't see. It might move all the way up here. That would be great, but we don't know yet. It's going to go that far. So we're going along, and we got another peak, another valley there, right? So now we can move our sell stop up even more, like up to here is what we should do. But we want to keep it below this diagonal line. So we see this valley here. So the way we do this is we draw a line, activate it, and then slide it over. Okay, so that represents our new sell stop. And it could have hit up, bottomed out there if we would have used that sell stop. Looks like I'd also tried that one. Let's see what happens if we would have. So in other words, my sell stop was a little bit too tight, I guess. It broke through here. Let's see how. Well, maybe that wasn't so tight after all. Here's the other one I did. I put a sell stop here, and it bottomed out there. At any rate, you'll notice that we have a double blue triangles here, and so this is like the major double volume right here. So that's what that means is all those people that were making profits here, like me, they were like getting out. They were getting out here. They are exiting the long. And so what happened is a bunch of people are selling, and now the price is going to start going down. More than likely, it's going to go down to hit this this blue line right here, this blue support line. And maybe bounce off of it. Or if it breaks through, then it'll keep on going down. Any rate, so this would be a good time to put in an OCO order in. So like from here to there. Anyways, let's keep on playing a little bit. Price action. Alright, so Anyway, so now we have this down diagonal line, and what you have to really watch out for is there's like the short resistance line, and then there's a these are diagonals, and then another diagonal line here. So which one's the real? Anyways, we're just going to kind of watch it a little bit. Okay, so now what we have is another double blue volumes here. So the something major is going to happen, right? And you notice that I was talking about two diagonal resistances. So there's one here, and it broke through here, but there's not really a big. I want you to compare the two, this diagonal line and that diagonal line. On this one, the price broke through above it, but there's not any like volume. It's no black or blue triangles here. We go up here, and now all of a sudden we have a black triangle. Now we got two blue ones. So the biggest thing is we don't want to chase. We don't want to chase things. We have sort of a peak established here. We have a valley established here, right? But these guys are high volume, so what's probably this thing is on its way up. It's going to peak out. It will go up and peak out, and then it will come back down, and it will probably come back down to these double volumes here. So the idea is what we're planning ahead, because we don't want to chase. We're not going to enter. We know this is major, but we're not going to enter right here. We're going to wait to the peak, which will be somewhere up here, and when we look for peaks, we'll look for these the black tops, right? That tells you it's a peak often. But we'll also look for a change. See this little up run up here? We got green, 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 and then it goes to a red. So we're looking for a candle that goes a green candle and a red candle. See here, green up, and then we got red. It's a peak. So every single one of these peaks knows to have a big green candle and a red candle. And so what we're looking for is the same thing over here. These greens are going up 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to peak pretty soon, because look, we have how many green candles in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. So we're looking for the red candle to come up, and then we're going to get in. And also to note that if this is going to be these double blue triangles here, they're going to be like one of those support lines. In other words, it's going to go down and come back down to here. We want it to make sure it goes high enough so it'll be profitable. So right down here is 14.33. So what's 14 cents is 1%. So 14.43 would be good. Or 14.33. So 47. So anyways, yeah, so if we go back up to this peak here, which is 14.47, that would be a good time to enter the fray. And what we're going to do is enter a market, not a buy stop or long sell stop or anything like that. All right, so now we got our blue triangle, and it's pretty much at this our magic number right now, 14.49. So we're just looking for a red candle. There's our red candle, so we want to enter as soon as we can. You see this red candle? So our next candle, when we see this, we're like doing our market order right here. We'll see when we can get the market order in. It's going to go down, and it's going to go down to this point here. So we're going to enter it, market, and then we're going to put a sell stop in, or maybe a sell stop. We'll see. Okay, so here's our enter. We're going to enter right at that green candle there, and it's on its way down. So also we want you to note is that we are on an uptrend still, I think. So like if we activate this drawing, it's not a perfect one, but it's good to keep on going up. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get in here and get a small scalp down, like a short, and then get back in and do a long. Okay. So this blue line coming down here, that's our enter. and we're expecting it to go back down to this level right down here. So this would be, we could put in an order, a sell order right now, or we could put a market order in. Okay, so what I did was, see this red line here. That's going to be my market, or my sell stop. If it goes below this line, it's going to sell. And there, it hit it. So right there, that's my sell order, from there to there. And so what we just did is we just made 0.7% on that one, and then this one we made 1.75%. So notice now we have a red candle and a green candle. So it's switched from this is now our valley, right? And we got volume black and black, and switched from red to green. It went down to this our sell stop. We exited, but now we want to get back in again. So now, because we see it is the bottom, and so you can't see this really. See, I'll zoom in. There we go. It's a blue right there. So we're just going to enter it now. Remember, we had this plan when we were back here. We had this plan. We're going to go up. We're going to look for the peak when it went from red to green to red. Now look, we have a bunch of reds. Now the reds are gone, and we got a green. So now we're going to ride it back up again. So we're going to enter here, and this time, this was a scalp, but this time we think we see this long line here. We think it might continue on up, and so this could be could be keeping going up in a long uptrend. So we've entered here, and let's see what happens. Now, once we've entered, we got to get our stop loss in too, because if we're wrong and it reverses, we want our stop loss in there to which is really a sell stop order. There's another green. Okay, so this would be a good time to put our sell stop in. We got a blue. We've entered here. The next one's a green, so we can put a sell stop in right there. Boink. I can't draw it, it's too tight. So we got our sell stop. We want to put our sell stop in there, right there. So if it drops down below low here. Now what's interesting though is that since we got 4 greens in a row and then a red, so this could very well be a peak, and that's, I got the circle here, but we got our sell stop in here, so if it drops we can get out. Let's just play it one more time, and we can see this green one here. So this bar opened here, so we're getting out. And actually, yeah, so this would be our chance. So we'd actually get out somewhere between here and there. We'd actually do a market buy. So this one I said we got even. We didn't really make, I showed the blue line going from here to here, but because it happened so fast, we could have got out here, and we would have had an even score. May have made a little bit of money. So now it's on the downtrend. So now we have to think this is doing. So we can see it's going to be a downtrend, and you might remember this blue support line is a long term, but really the last valley was right here, right? So it's probably going to go down to this valley, this one here. So anyways, let's see what's going to happen. It's probably going to bounce off this bottom one. Also notice that this one here, this long-term uptrend. So it's going up, comes and bounces off it here, going up, and it might bounce it off this diagonal. So it's either going to bounce off that diagonal or this blue one. So let's see what happens. Okay. So there's the bottom. Um, it turns out it's it's using this as the resistance line right there. See, this is the double blue. This is the where it broke through. So it's using that sort of as its thing here. We're on a downtrend. Boom, boom. All right, so let's keep on going. You notice from here is 1445, and out there's 1432. So about this from here to here is about, I don't know, 0.7%. And it's on its way up to that. To this up here, right? And so now we have is, I think it's called a squeeze, right? The squeeze means it's the lines, the lows and the highs are getting closer together. And so at some point we might want to do an OCO, right? If it breaks above this resistance line or breaks below it, right? That's what. So yeah, here's where I say the OCO. So I put a blue. This is the blue buy stop here. I'm sorry, the magenta, violet buy stop, and then I put one down here. What's going to happen? Um, I want to talk about that blue triangle there. That's large volume, and that's a large volume, but this is a large volume and a big drop, and so you can tell because it's a red candle and a blue volume with red candle, and it drops down to this support line. I think what has happening here is people are exiting their longs. So since people are exiting their longs and sell their stocks, the price is going to go down. It's probably going to go down. So we're going to rescale it like that so we can look at it better. So it's probably going to bounce off of here and head on down. We have an OCO order in. We think it's going to head down. So I don't know. It may have been worth putting in instead of having OCO from here to here to put it up higher there. At any rate, let's keep on going. Oh man, it dropped down. Again, dropped down to this diagonal resistance line. And here it coming down. But here's what's really interesting, okay? The bottom of these two guys are tall candles, and we got, see, tall, 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 and then we got a green. So that means the price it's going to go up. So but we really don't want to chase yet. Notice all these arrows here saying it's going to go up. And for 32 to 44. So we could have put it, when we saw the second green candle, we could have put a market buy in here and went from here to there. But we didn't do that. Anyways, so we have this diagonal line going down, 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 and all of a sudden it broke through. So that's kind of what we're looking for, is breakthroughs. Breakthrough. So remember over here we saw this breakthrough, and that's how we got that order in and that order in, because of the breakthrough. So the same thing is, we don't want to chase. We see the breakthrough here, right? And so, like the last time we saw the breakthrough, it kept going up. We were expecting a high. This thing it broke through, so we're expecting to go up and probably to get up to this high as well, and then to come back down. So what we want to do is I call it a breakthrough scalp. We wanted to wait for it to get to the high, do an enter, and then get down to a low. And the low will be determined by about this breakthrough level here, and then enter along. So we're going to wait for it to get to high, enter for a short scalp, exit the short scalp, and immediately enter along. So now it's going up like we thought. The problem is so far is, okay, so there's a black top there. The problem is that from here to here is not very much. So if we entered the scalp over here, it would only come down a little ways and then come back up again. So it's really not worth, if this is really the peak, it's not worth entering it yet, because we're just expecting a short scalp. I mean, right from here down, if we did a short, it would hit this resistance line here, where the breakthrough line, the blue triangle, and the breakthrough, and then head back up again. So it's not much profit. So unless this goes higher, we probably shouldn't enter. Even if this is the top, we shouldn't enter, because it's not much profit. Well, let's give it a chance to go up higher. If it goes up higher and then we hit a top, so the other thing is, you'll notice that if this is a top, it's not a very strong top, because we have these candles are short, and only one of them is volume, this black triangle here. If you look at the other tops, the other peaks, we have two volumes in a row, a black and a blue, black and a blue. This is only one black. Here we have two blues. So majority of them have two volumes. So let's keep on watching to see if it goes up higher. If it doesn't go up higher, then what we're going to do is wait. No matter what we're going to do along. Okay, so let's keep on going. Okay, it went up higher, and we have a black volume, and now we're up at 1449, and if it comes back down here to 38, that's about a 0.7%, so we could probably do that. Looking for red candle. Okay, so that's not a red candle, but it's a small one. We do have it's a weak signal. Let's see. Boom, went up higher. So this is probably that near the peak. Notice it's such a big long green candle. Now we got 1, 2, 3, a whole bunch of reds, a whole bunch of greens, and only one red. We're expecting the red candle now. Boom. Okay, the red candle. So now is our enter point. The next candle is when we enter on a market. Holy cow. Jump back up again. So we would have, well, we would have entered right there. Or we could have waited one more time and entered there. We do have a black here. So, we would have either entered here or the next candle after this one. So we enter the next candle after red. Okay, so there's our enter, and it drops, and that's our enter. And now we're going to wait for it to come back down here and get out. And we could put in. Okay, so see this order here. We think that it's going to hit a valley, so this would be a good time to put in a sell stop. So put a sell stop in at this order here. We've entered here. Now we get time to put in a sell stop. Boom, and we're hoping for it to come down to this level. Our enter 1453. Boom, it hit it. Okay. Now we're going to have to wait for a green candle, and then we're going to put in our order Yeah. So here's where I said we entered it. Uh, it was if I put in a sell stop, we would have exited here. If we did a market order, we probably would have exited there. At any rate, this is a valley now, right? And now we're expecting it to go long. So right here is where we get in for long. We got a red. See this red candle, green? We were still exiting this trade, and now we got a red and a green. So our next candle we're going to enter for a long, and on our long, we don't know how high it's going to go. So we'll play it. We'll have to move our sell stop up. Okay, so we've entered it here, right? And it's starting to go up, and now we have to put our sell stop in. So pretend that we put a sell stop in right there. So it's going up, but if it comes back down here, we'll exit. And it's moving up. Okay, so now we have a diagonal line too. It's this diagonal line, right? And so now it bounces off because we have a point here, a point here. It's bouncing off that diagonal line, and now we're gonna it bounces off here, and we can think about moving our sell stop up from being a loss up here anytime now. So let's do that. Now we move our sell stop from here to there. So if it continues to go down, it's going to hit this, and we'll break even. At least we won't lose money, but at least we'll have a chance to make money if it goes up. If it goes up, okay. So it's we got a big green candle here, and then all of a sudden, and then with a blue triangle, and it's switched to a black triangle, so we have double volume, triple volume. It's like it's time to get out. So we get out here, and we've actually made a little bit of money here. From here, 45 to 52, 7 cents. So that was a half a percent. So what I did was up here I wrote down 0.5, and here's 0.7. So this is a reversal. We think it's going to reverse. And now you can see the diagonal trend again. And so now you can see going from here down to there, right? And so now it's like, okay, it's going to reverse, and it's going to probably go back down to like this blue line right here. So it's probably a good time to get in right now. And so we're just kind of going doink doink. Now this one, we had it planned out. We knew this was going to be a short scalp, and we were going to be a long, but we didn't know if this was going to keep on going up. But now that we have the two peaks, we know it's going to go back down to here, from here to here. So we're going to try to ride the wave back down. Okay, so here's where we got in. Remember I was telling we were going to ride the wave down? So we entered it because we knew it was going down. And now we have to put our sell stop in. So this line right here represents our stop loss. I mean, if it goes back up, see this blue triangle above here, we want to X out. If it goes back up and goes back around that top thing, we will in this case take a loss from 14.49 to 55. That's 6. So we might take a 0.5%, less than 0.5% loss, which would cancel out that one. But we'll see. Okay, so now we got a blue candle. This is might reverse, right? The blue triangle, or this might mean it's going to keep on going down. The next candle will tell us. If the next candle is green, that's probably a valley, and it's going to start going back up. But we think it's going to go back down, so we're going to hang in there a little bit more. At this point, we could move the sell stop back down to, this level. So instead of having a 0.5%, if we lose, it'll be half, a much smaller loss. Okay, it went back down. So now is a good time. Then see the next candle was red. That means that this was a peak. So we're gonna move our stop loss to there, right? Now if we lose, it goes from here 49 to 52, only 3 cents. So it's a really small loss. Going down. Okay, we got a bunch of green stuff here. Is this a peak? Okay, so that's a valley, and we're gonna see how high it goes back up. Blue candles on it, just like this blue candle was a peak. That one's probably a peak as well. So at this point, we can move our sell stop even lower. That might be a little bit too tight. Let's see. That one was too tight. And that one was too tight. Ouch. So, I would have stopped loss out there if I would have done these two. So, oh shoot, here's the lesson I forgot. See these stop losses here that I put in? You shouldn't put the stop losses below the diagonal lines. That was a mistake. This is the support line coming down like that. Never put the stop losses below the diagonal line. See how this came back up to the diagonal line? This resistance line? So that was a mistake. Alright. We're going down. And it broke through, although this here is called a bear reject, bull reject. It's a long stem. Notice here it's a long stem too. Like these don't have any stems. This one has a stem, so that means it's a bull reject. It's like trying to go bullish, but it's rejecting it because it's a long stem. Okay, now it dropped, so we know that this is a peak, and now we can move our stop loss from here to there. Okay, so here's the tricky part. I want you to know this thing here comes zooming down at this angle, and this one here so we have two diagonal lines, this diagonal line and this diagonal line. So you can see this is much steeper. So this diagonal line is probably the false one. It's like a temporary one. So anyways, we got to keep our stop losses above that line. And we're going to try to ride it down. Okay, again, remember how we said this, we're going to have a blue line down here. We think the price is going to drop back down to this blue line here. We don't know if it's going to make it all the way, but we could put in a stop order in case it just drops down like crazy. Boom, boom, boom. At least it'll hit it. Sometimes it drops down and then turns around, and jumps back up. So this is like if it drops down like crazy, it'll hit really quick and comes back up. We'll at least take some profit because this here is 14.28, and we started here at 14.49, 20 cents. So that's, if it drops down here, that's a 1.5% gain. We'll be happy with that. Okay. So it hits this peak again, and all of a sudden it's dropping back down. So I'm thinking about us taking profit now. Like if it goes from here 40, say 50, and all of a sudden jumps back up here. Anyway, so it's kind of like a hard thing to decide where to put the sell stop, because there's two diagonals, this diagonal and that diagonal. Um, but the thing to notice that is um, this is a pretty good sign of a valley, because see all these reds coming down, right? And this is the first green that has a black triangle, right? Uh, so notice these two guys too. You have an orange, and the next one's an orange. Um, so I'm this seems like it's getting pretty close to getting down to here. Um, so this is down here is a pretty good loss. I mean, if we exited out around right down here, 39 to 49, 10 cents, so that's about 0.7%. That wouldn't be a bad exit, but we don't have any signs of reversal yet. It's not hasn't gotten past this one yet. Let's see if it goes past that one. Okay, so here's some these things called dojis, little dudes. These means the market's uncertain. People aren't sure what they're going to do yet. Okay, and now it's hit that line. It's going down, like it's going to come down and break through here. So anyways, you can see me moving my stop loss down here, and I still think this diagonal is the real diagonal line, but the profit's getting to be pretty good now, so I'm thinking about exiting pretty soon. This is a valley peak, so it's going to go down again. It might reach down this line. Let's see. So I'm moving my stop losses down. If it would break up, it's okay. I'm going to exit and take the profit, but we're given a chance to go down. And we might not get down to this blue line, but at least we're going to make a pretty big profit. There it goes. Still going down. Getting towards it. And now all of a sudden we have our first blue volume. That is significant. And now we have a green bar. It's right on the diagonal. I think it's getting close to its end of the run. Now we have another blue volume, and it's kind of broken through. See that? This is the diagonal. Now it's broken through, so this is I think the next one's going to be a breakthrough. Let's see. Boom. It broke through, and so remember how we handled breakthroughs in the past. And anyways, I exited the trade down here. Now it's getting close to the bottom, right? And remember how we handled these breakthroughs in the past? We think it's going to go up. If it gets up high enough to make it profitable, we'll enter a short scalp, wait for it to come down, take our short, exit our short, and then get into a long again. So here's the thing: is let's wait to see if it goes up high enough. So here's our, like I said, here's the trend line. It broke through, and it might even go down to this thing, something like that. It might go from here up to there, 47. So from 47 down to here, 34, about a 0.7%. Okay, so So with all these blue triangles here, we know that these double volumes, 1, 2, 3, this is a pretty major valley. So when it goes up, it's gonna and come eventually when it comes back down again, it'll probably come back down to this level. Okay, so we also have one up here, right? And we got one up here. So there's that black line there, but there's this support resistance level here, that resistance level there. That so each one of these lines here are resistance levels. So let's see what it does. So it's going back up, and we said if it goes back up to, that's not enough. 41 down to, that might be enough. It goes up to here. If it goes up to this level here, like 42, 43, we could maybe do it. It might be profitable enough. Okay, so what's it doing? It's going sideways. It's going sideways. It's not going up. It's not even going up to 40. So see these right here? That's flat bottom. Boom, 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 boom. It's trying to go down, and that might be a little bit of a bear reject tail. There's not much volume. It's trying to decide what to do, and you notice this is a valley here. So I think what this is saying is it's not going up. It broke through here, but it's not going to go up high enough for a scalp. You know, what we're hoping to do is do a scalp. So this is, we're looking for a peak and a short scalp, then a long. So, but basically since it hasn't gone up high enough, we're just going to have to look for a long. So basically what we can do is we can put in an OCO order here. It still might go down, but okay, so we have an OCO order here. This is a buy stop, that's a sell stop. If it goes up and breaks through this line, so here, because here's the blue triangle, then we know it's going to continue to go back up for long, probably up to here or there. On the other hand, if it turns around and goes back below this level here, it's going to go down to down further. Well, maybe it might not be so smart to put in a sell stop here. But why did I choose that level? Oh, because it's going through here and here. That's kind of a major resistance, those two guys. Anyways, I'm not sure if it's best to have it here or there. Anyways, let's keep on going. Okay, so I guess it entered here. And maybe I should have waited for this thing to occur before I entered. I did it before some volume to happen. It went green and then red, so it started heading down. So that was like my enter there. I maybe should have waited for volume in the future. We should say wait for volume before we do our thing. At any rate, I don't know if that's what's best, but that's what I did. That's my enter. Went back down, and then we get some volume here. now it's moving up. This is my sell stops, showing them going up. So the breakthrough here told us it was going to go up, and it did. Also, we were down here by the bottom by all our support lines, and now it's going up. So like, it's major volume, and it's going up. So then we can put our stop here. Then from here it takes a big jump and goes over there. So now we can put our sell stop there. We're going along. It keeps on going up. So here's a volume. Put our sell stop there. We can draw diagonal lines maybe. Something like that. So remember, our sell stop should be above it in this case. Going along. Alright, so so there's a resistance line here at 52 and our line at 55. So you remember that 52 and 55. Sorry. So there's 52 and it's still green. So what we're basically doing is we're moving the sell stops up, but we're bearing in mind we've got a 52 and 55. I have one here at 57. Why do I have 57? Oh, see this one right there? That's a stop. That's a major resistance line at 58. So that one right there, 58. So I have one a little bit below there, 57. All right, so we're gonna keep on going. It hit the buy stop. We basically want to. This is a really good gain from here, 39 to like 59, 20 cents. So that's like, I said 1%. It's more like 1.5%. And sure enough, then the next red one hits. Now we know this is a top. It's like big green one, and then followed by a big red one, and this is a blue candle. So at this point, we're going to put in a. We know it's reached the top, and now it's going to head back down, right, from here to there. So see it's going down, up. Now we're looking for it to go down again. So we put in a sell stop right there to try to catch it going down. Boom, go down. So let's see if it catches it. There, it caught it. See, this is a big one. Everybody else caught it too. So now remember this line here? Activate. This was our diagonal going up here. It broke through this sell stop and broke through this diagonal. So it's going down, and this should be a resistance line for the future, probably for as we go on. Okay, so anyways, we have to put our buy stop here in case it reverses. That we got in here, and so see that little peak there. We go above that, 55 to 50, so 5 cents. So about a 0.3 or 0.4 percent loss if we take a loss. Okay, so we've established this diagonal line now from that point down to that point. So we can put another buy stop here. It has to be above the diagonal line. So when it goes down here, we can put it up there. Or we could have maybe moved when this thing happened and went down here. We could have started moving our buy stop. Well, I don't know. I guess when that one hits, we need to take a big drop down here, we could put our stop down here. Now if it jumps back up again, we wouldn't lose anything. It'd be breaking even. Okay, it's heading back down. And notice I drew a dash line here. This is sort of like a support line, right? It probably is there. So I drew the dash line a little bit above it. So like what I'm thinking of is we put an order for a sell stop. When it reaches here, it sells automatically. The idea is that when the thing goes down, it might touch it and then hit back up. We want to get it when it touches it. Here it comes. Hasn't reached it yet. And oh, sorry. So what looks to me like is it's flatlining here. We got a blue triangle here and a blue triangle there. You notice we have a bunch of reds coming down. Then we got a blue triangle here. Change to green, another green with another blue triangle. So I just went ahead and said, hey, I think it's going to be, I wanted to get out. So I got out here with a market order. And here it took from 14.5 to 36, a 1%, a 1% short. Now it's going to start, let's see what it, now the one thing you should note though is these candles here are small. These ones are big, and so we got our diagonal resistance here, and we haven't broken through, so we don't know if it's going to keep on going down. Possibly this level will go up again. And there's the diagonal line, it's hit it there. So now we're looking for a breakthrough, but one thing you should note is too, it's like 12 o'clock, so it's probably time to think about not trading anymore because we're getting towards the end of the day. And we got two huge candles here, a green followed by a red. It's like it probably will keep on going down, maybe down here, but I think that's probably enough. It's the end of the day, and in fact it did go down. So a guy could have like see this diagonal line. You know, I could have kept on moving the sell stop down here, there. It would have kept on going, and right around here somewhere is you see kind of breaking through an exit point there, or continue on this line over here, exiting out here for even a little bit bigger gain from here, 32 to 37. I could have got maybe 5 more cents a share out of that one, but anyways, that's the day. Price action.